मुक्तां इन्दुनिबद्धरत्नमकुटां तत्त्वार्थवर्णात्मिकां गायत्रीं वरदाभयङ्कुशकशाः शुभ्रं कपालं गदां शङ्खं चक्रमधारविन्दयुगळां हस्तैर्वहन्तीं भुजे ध्येः सदा सवितृमण्डलमध्यवर्ती नारायणः सरसिजासनसन्निविष्टः केयूरान् मकरकुण्डलान् किरीटी हारी हिरण्मयोपधृतशङ्खचक्रः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमस्कारं मास्टर, नमस्कारं मास्टर एम. नमस्कारं मास्टर CVV. नमस्कारं मास्टर CVV. Namaskaram, Master CVV, to your lotus feet. Om Bhur Suvah Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः सुवः ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। शं नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं नो इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Brothers and sisters who gather here, we now speak something about spiritual healing. The word spiritual means something relating to the spirit. The word spirit means the essence of everything. When a block of ice melts and becomes water, we can say water is the spirit of ice. Certainly, in this world, we are seeing many forms of matter, the matter in our body and the matter in the things around us. All this matter is made up of atoms, and the atoms can be called the spirit of matter. All the atoms are made up of some great energy, and the energy can be called the spirit of atoms. All this energy is made up of the space consciousness in which we live, and this space consciousness can be called the spirit of energy. That is what we call God, because everything is made out of that spirit, including our sun and the solar system, and all the planets are made up of the solar energy, and the actions of the sun upon the planets created life on each planet. Life created the many millions of living beings on every planet. Just as we live on this earth as the living beings of this earth, every planet has its own living beings on it. Similarly, the sun is also having millions of living beings in the sun globe, and all these things have come out of the same spirit, and we call it spirit. When we try to understand the spirit and remember the spirit in us and in everyone, then our thoughts and our actions and our speech belong to the spirit. Then what we do will be useful to anyone in this world, and we will stop doing anything that is harmful to anyone. Similarly, what we think will be useful to anyone in this world, because our mind does not permit us to think evil thoughts about others. Suppose I think somebody has harmed me, or someone has misbehaved about me, and that somebody has talked bad about me. Such thoughts will be there in our mind when we do not remember the spirit in us and spirit in everyone. But when we train ourselves to remember the spirit always, there is no place to such thoughts in us, and all the thoughts belong to the healing. Healing does not only mean curing diseases. Healing means to rectify any defects in us and others. In the modern days, in Occident, we find a great liking to heal. Many people are trying to learn healing and to heal others. A great desire to make others better has suddenly increased during the past 20 years in the Occident. This is because the world needs much of healing in the present day. Whatever is needed to the world will be produced by nature in the form of our thoughts and good intentions. And whenever something new is necessary to make things better, that something new will be produced through our thoughts once again. At present, the necessity to heal has become much more than it was before. Therefore, a great desire to heal has come to the minds of many. In this century, since about 80 years, medicinal healing has become more common than previously, and man has conducted unnecessary experiments with medicine so that man began to use medicines more than needed to the human body. The result is two generations are spoiled in health, and the resistance in these two generations is not as it was previous. Whenever we get a little cold and sneezing, we have every possibility of contracting a dangerous disease and sometimes die. And whenever there is a little injury to any part of our skin, there is every probability of getting some dangerous infection like tetanus. It was not the case in the previous generation. Many simple things like colds and little injuries never harmed anyone on this earth and never caused death in the previous century. It was because man did not conduct unnecessary experiments with medicine, and man did not use as many medicinal substances into the human constitution by way of curing diseases. And even medicines are used when there are no diseases at all sometimes. For example, when a child is born, he will be given vaccines, and immediately we make the child unhealthy with the vaccination. And by great ignorance, we have taken this as the law of every government. Many times ignorance rules centuries, and now the same ignorance is ruling the modern century also in the form of belief of vaccinations, antibiotics, cortisons, and the endocrinal medicines, and many unnecessary things. Even the sacred science of surgery is unnecessarily identified with allopathy and being used wherever it is not necessary. We see hospitals where there is a big rush for maternity, and to avoid delay, caesarean operations are being conducted for delivery. We are in great ignorance about these matters because whom we call medical people and specialists and doctors, they are themselves in greater ignorance than ourselves. And when they are wrongly directing us, there is no other go than to fall in ignorance for all the people. We see how when there is a uterine hemorrhage to a lady, immediately the doctor removes the uterus. This is also sheer ignorance. Whenever a person is not able to sleep, the medical science is producing sleeping pills which are made up of dangerous poisons and narcotics. Not only that, the doctors are encouraging ladies to use pills to postpone and prepone menses, and they do not know how dangerous it is and how a disturbance of the endocrines and hormones in the constitution permanently disturbs the psychological mechanism of the lady and then establishes chronic diseases in the physical body which can never be cured by any system of medicine, including spiritual healing. This is all done because there is great ignorance on the present mankind, and we are to take every care of it. We are suffering from over drugging. There are people who use multivitamins to maintain their health. They do not understand how dangerous it is to use vitamins in a medicine form. So, the great necessity to take care is felt by nature on this earth, and it has produced a big wave of thought of spiritual healing in the human beings of this earth. Unless nature produces a thought wave, it cannot take the shape of the thought of a century or a nation. We know individual thoughts come to our mind and go away, and even though we try to convince others about our own thoughts, they will disappear as soon as we die. But the thought produced by nature in our mind is always progressive and positive, because it is only to meet an urgent need that nature produces thoughts in us. The desire to heal others has therefore become very great during these 2 centuries in many people. Some 60 years ago, we do not find so many people interested in healing. Many people were not interested even in healing themselves. Now, many people are interested in healing others, but they forget that they have to heal themselves also. One who wants to be a healer should first heal himself or herself and make the physical body and the mental body perfect, and then only he can heal others. But if I happen to be a psychic patient suffering from great obsessions in my mind due to the financial and domestic problems I am having, and then I take a diploma in psychology, begin practice as a psychologist, what happens when people come to me for psychological advice? I will be introducing my own obsessions into others and making them unhappy with my own diseases also when they come to me for healing. Similarly, when I am having nervous weakness and hysteria, when I feel oversensitive in the presence of strangers,
nerveux dans la présence d'étrangers,
a great tension to meet others and spend time with others, and when I suppress weeping, which is every time choking my throat, going into a room once or twice a day and bursting into weeping and crying for 5 minutes, and then coming and attending others. When my nervous system is in such a dangerous condition, when my liver is not permitting me to appreciate others, when my liver is over secreting and making me feel jealous of everyone who is happy, then if I begin to heal others, what happens? I may say that I give spiritual healing and passes to others, but I will be giving them passes of infection of my own troubles. And the result is the other people also feel restless after coming to me and going. When they are happy, they become restless. When they are unhappy, they become restless. When there is some great joy, they cannot contain it and they weep. And when they appreciate others, they weep. And when anyone thanks them, they weep. This is because their nerves are in such a condition as not to be able to contain any expression of emotion. This is because their emotion is not purified.
Yeah.
Their love nature is polluted with emotion. But to be a healer, we should have a love nature which is distilled from the pollution of emotion. Then only love nature will be impersonal. But when it is polluted with emotion because of the disturbance of the liver, our love nature is also polluted with emotion. Then we begin to love only our own people and hate other people, and we call it love. I begin to love my own wife and my children and try to cheat the world to protect my wife and children. All selfishness in the world is due to bad liver, and unless we are cured of it, our love nature will not be purified from the pollution of emotion. Then only we are fit to become spiritual healers. So first of all, let us get ourselves purified and healed, and it is possible only to have to get purified when we have a number of people working for the same cause with us. When we begin to practice individually in our rooms, it is not at all possible to heal ourselves. There are people who sit in their rooms for hours together in Padmasana or Siddhasana, closing their eyes and going into a strange type of meditation, trying to purify themselves. The result is they go into nervousness and they cannot tolerate any misbehavior from anyone. And all the element of tolerance will go away from them. A spirit of pious aristocracy comes into their mind, and when they come into the world, they see only defects in others.
Ils ne voient que des défauts dans les autres.
Because the tolerance in them is gone. When we go into such a condition, there is no possibility at all to become a healer. There are people who are very much afraid of bad vibrations from others. They think that people who are sick are having sick vibrations, and they will make us also sick by their presence. how can such a person be a healer? When he is ready to receive the infection from the sick, how can he heal the sick? He has grown too negative, and every time a malad comes to him, he will suffer from great headaches that day. And we know people who try to heal others and suffer from great sufferings and diseases in themselves afterwards. This is because they say the diseases of the people come to them and that they are taking the diseases of others, which is utterly false. This is ignorance, and the science of healing never teaches us such nasty things. The science of healing teaches us that we are positive in our spirit, and the more we remember the spirit in one and everyone, we grow healthy day by day, we grow positive day by day, and we begin to radiate the positive health around us, and our presence begins to radiate the magnetism of health into others, and automatically, without our own knowledge, spiritual healing takes place. So it is not the healer who is receiving the pollution of the diseases, but he is causing an infection of health into the sick. Then only he can become healer. One should not be affected by the environment. One should be able to affect the environment by his presence. Such is the nature of a healer. Have you ever heard or read in any book that Jesus Christ suffered after healing anyone? When he gave sight to the blind, did he suffer from blindness for some time? When he healed the evil people possessed by evil spirit, and did he get the evil spirit for some time? Healer can understand and meditate upon the Christ when he too becomes a healer. True healers are essentially spiritual, and if you find a holy man or a saint sitting anywhere, when you go to him and talk to him for 5 minutes, his healing presence will be with you for months afterwards. Sometimes it will be with you for years, and sometimes for life it will be with you. You might have heard of a holy man called Ramana Maharshi in South India. Many people approached him with many questions about philosophy and religion, about the economic and social problems in the world, and with questions which cannot be solved by everyone. They gathered all these questions before they approached him, and they went to him and lived with him. And what was the result? As soon as we go near him, he makes a smile, and then he asks us to sit down. He brings something to eat for us. He prepares some breakfast, and he gives us some fruit and milk. And for 1 or 2 days, we will enjoy his presence. He will ask us some questions, and then he sits smiling silently for hours. We sit before him silently smiling for hours and days. We never sit there with great tension because we forget ourselves. And after a few days, people return to their places and wonder why they did not put all these questions to him. The secret is they believe that they forgot all these questions in his presence, and they thought it was some black magic with him, that he confuses our minds and makes our minds not to work in his presence. It is all ignorance. As long as we are with him, our mind has no question, because it has every answer with it, because our mind is his mind, because our mind is touched with his mind. Just as if you take some iron pieces into your hand and make them touch a magnet, all the iron pieces are magnets and not iron pieces at all, as long as they are in touch with the magnet. And even when they are not in touch with the magnet, even if you place the magnet at a little distance from the iron pieces, they receive the induction or the presence of the magnet, and they behave as magnets. In the same way, as long as people were near Ramana Maharshi, their minds were perfect. And a perfect mind has only answers and no questions. It has only solutions and not problems. It is not by logic that we solve our questions, but it is because of our magnetism that we find solutions and answers. We cannot normally understand this secret, and due to our ignorance, we believe that our questions are answered by logic, and we find solutions to our problems by logic. It is not at all true. The truth is, we have solutions with us as the light of our own presence. And since the brain cells are not perfectly healthy, we are not able to express our presence properly through our brain cells.